Oh, we could fly.
Welcome to this new season of the Have a Cup of Jahani podcast. So, I want to title this new season that I'm embarking on with I'm growing. So, this is going to be the season of growth. And that's what I'm going to share with you throughout the season. So, I thank you for coming over here and sitting with me. And I hope you enjoy. So, I was not always very confident. Um, I lived most of my life not being confident and wishing to hide from the human gaze and society in general. But as life will have it, it pushed me to to learn how to gain some confidence, and that's what we're gonna talk about here. Ready? Not gonna lie, at the beginning it was fake it till I made it. And not saying that I'm at the point where I feel like I made it, like I'm just a super confident individual. I think for me, it's gonna be a continuous work in progress that I will work on myself to just continue to reassure myself that I am okay the way that I am and that I belong in this world and that I my voice matters. And that's a big one for me. I have to remind myself over and over and over again. My voice matters. What I say matters and it's important and it's worthy of being listened to. So today, let's dive a little bit into that. I'm squirming in my chair because it's like I'm going to have some uncomfortable moments in this chat. But nevertheless, if it will help somebody find their boost, find their confidence, I'm all here for it. I'm okay being having some moments of being uncomfortable, so that way, hopefully, others can learn, and hopefully, they won't have to go through the same amount of hardship I had to get to where I'm at today. So let's begin this journey of how I was able to build the little bit of confidence that I have now. So I want to say, let me preface this by saying that I have found confidence to be not like this cockiness of where you can do nothing wrong and that you know that you're perfect, but more of this belief, like I said at the beginning, that, like for me, that I am okay, that I know I have strengths and I know that I have weaknesses, and I am self aware of that. And I am still okay with who I am. And I am still okay with sharing that with others because I have learned to love myself. That to me, that is confidence, right? And it is key. It is key in succeeding, not just in business or, like me in the army, but it's key in life as well because like there's so many situations that a grown up once they come out of the house will have to step up to and be confident about. Um, a lot of different situations from personal getting a lease to all these things, right, that you have to do. You have to stand up for yourself and verbalize your thoughts to somebody else, and for that takes confidence. All right, so let's go into some of the things that I had to do to get there. And that was, like I said before, I had to like do a identification of my strengths and my weaknesses as well, those things that I'm not so strong in. And this is why I had to do that. So it gave me self awareness. So I wasn't blindsided by it, specifically my weaknesses. I wasn't blindsided by them because I had already assessed that about myself. And then I had already made a note and done steps to work on those things. And also going further into this, I was able to identify that some weaknesses may just be maintained for me as weaknesses, that I'm just going to strengthen little by little, but they probably will never reach the same level as some of my strength. They will still be in that lower end of the spectrum of my various talents. And part of building my confidence had to do with understanding that, right? That I have these weaknesses that are part of me, that I can still work on them, but that while I can get a little bit better at them, they will still be in that bottom portion of the spectrum. And then when it comes to strength, just understanding them. And for me, going deeper into understanding why I had those strengths. And I'll tell you why. Finding that out is important and was important to me. Because when I understood that, then I was able to be intentional about the way that I utilized those strengths. Because now I understood why they were there and I could ascertain how I gained those strengths. And by understanding that, the background of my strength and how I came about having them, then I can tap into that at a moment's notice. And just knowing that build my confidence. It's almost like I equate it to being like super prepped for a test. When you're super prepped, and come on, test takers out there, you know this is true. When you're super prepped, you go in that test room with your head held high. Yes, you're going to be nervous. There's going to be some nervousness. That's normal. But when you're ready, it's a certain level of confidence that you go in, and then that has ripple effects, positive ripple effects. So that's the best example that I can give in identifying my strengths and understanding the background behind my strengths. I'm sorry, because now I felt that I was prepared for whatever will come at me because I can tap into them like that. And also another thing that I did was that I had to embrace self-compassion, and I would dare say humbleness as well. When it came to my weaknesses, it was like a big humble pie that I ate because I had to understand, one, that I was not good at everything. There's some things that I'm not good. There's some things that will be a continuous learning process for me. And embracing that came with embracing humbleness and also embracing self compassion as well. It came hand in hand. I had to give myself that grace to understand that I will maintain those weaknesses and that I was not going to be good at everything, and that some moments may not feel or look like successes, but that I will perceive them as successes so I can keep going forward. And let me explain that. I had to give myself the grace to look at moments where I failed miserably and let go of the embarrassment and focus on choosing to see them as something that I can learn from. And that right there blossomed inside of me and gave me confidence. Because now I know going into a situation that, hey, look, I'm prepared. You know, I know my strengths. I have assessed my weaknesses. I know that I'm working on all of them right now, but I also know that things may fall flat. Are you ready to embark on a captivating journey of resilience and revelation? Get ready to immerse yourself in the extraordinary world of Isla Delgado, a 9-year-old girl who has experienced more than her fair share of trauma. Isla's life takes a dramatic turn when she's forced to live with her dad and his new wife for 6 months. Her anxiety intensifies as she becomes convinced that her stepmom is an evil witch. But Isla is determined to protect herself and expose her stepmom's true nature. As the gripping story unfolds, Isla discovers that things aren't always as they seem. People are saying, while the alarming trend of attempting to ban books continues in the United States, this book is a fantastic reminder of the power that books have. A child will read this story and feel seen, heard, and hopefully feel some peace. For children of the appropriate age, this book provides the opportunity for a wonderful exercise in empathy. The message of this story is truly something a lot of children out there, and even some adults, might need to hear. Join Isla on a transformative journey of self-discovery, where she learns that even the most traumatic experiences can be triumphantly overcome with the power of love and understanding. Mrs. Frenchie's Evil Ring is available everywhere books are sold. And I know that I have that grace and that self-compassion on reserve for when that happened. And it's almost like going into battle with a safety net. Because you know that if you have a win, you're there for yourself. And if you have a loss, you're there for yourself as well. It's not going to be this negative self-talk going on that will make it harder for you to try again. That will make it harder for you to enjoy life or to think that I have no possibility of ever trying again. So I did that. I gave a big hug to humbleness, self-compassion, and grace. And that in turn helped me to pull down this barrier of, should I even try it? Or what if I don't make it? What if I don't make it? That's usually that was counterproductive voice that I had in my head while I was younger. What about if I don't make it? What about if I don't make it? That was big. That was big. And that was my self-doubt coming in. Now I was able to attack this self-doubt and reframe my thoughts to be that, so what? So what? Really? If I fail at this, if I fall flat, if it's not as perfect as I envision it in my head, so what? What's the worst that can happen? And that was a question that I would ask myself because I had to put it into this sort of perspective, right? Of what's the worst that could happen? What's the best thing that can happen? Both at the most opposite end of the spectrum of possibilities, right? The very worst and then the very best. And I had to realize that where I will fall will be somewhere in the middle. And I had to be okay with that. And when I was able to be okay with that, then and I was able to go into places I've never been, go into situations that I would have never tried to be in. I was able to step out of my comfort zone. And if you've heard me before, that I have said, and I will continue to say, that growth do not happen when we're comfortable. I I hate it. I hate it that it's this way, but that's just how it is. I hate it. I wish I can grow while still being comfortable, but unfortunately, that's not how it works. We have to step out of that comfort zone. We have to be uncomfortable, embarrassed, sometimes mildly cringing inside in order to learn something new and to grow. But I could only have done that by battling with that counterproductive little voice. Well, I'm gonna let you fail, right? And giving myself some grace and being okay with and assessing my strengths and weaknesses. You see what I'm saying? So all of this trickle down to then fucking like having that growth mindset. And that growth mindset is what feeds into the confidence, right? But let me backtrack it a little bit. So when you step out of your comfort zone, right, and you achieve this thing, I think the most recent, like really hardcore thing where I step out of my comfort zone, I want to say was a spur ride where I was like, oh, there's no way I'm going to make this. Fuck it. I'm going to do it. And I knew it was going to be physically, mentally tough for me. I knew that. I knew that. And, but I was okay. I knew what I was good at, and that is not giving up, being so stubborn that I don't fucking give up. So I knew that I had that going for me. I also knew in the same hand that I'm a big fucking baby and I hate feeling any sort of pain. I knew that as well about myself. And I know that that is something that will always stay with me. But I know that that is something that I can always talk it through inside my head and combat it. So that way I can achieve the things that I can achieve. So knowing that, I stepped out of my comfort zone, okay, and I embarked on this. And I would have been good whether I achieved or failed because I would have at least tried. You see that? So that right there, folks, it is how all of those steps, when they trickle in, right? So now I'm cultivating a growth mindset. Now I'm inhabiting possibilities. I'm telling myself there's a lot of possibilities here, and you can embark on any one of these because now I'm understanding who I am, how I can use that to benefit me, to benefit the team, and how I'm going to give myself grace. And I am okay with failure and success as long as I would have learned from it. You see? So all of that, right? All of that helped me to stand up with my head held high. I'm still working on my shoulders. I'm still working on that, but stand up and be confident about who I am because I know all of this about myself, and I know that I will take action, and I know that I will grow and learn from it. And that gives me confidence. And that confidence shows. And that confidence has helped me to achieve things that I would have otherwise not achieved if I would have chosen to just either stay comfortable and then just maintain the status quo, or if I would have not chosen to identify my strengths and my weaknesses, if I have not chosen to face and overcome that nagging voice inside my head, asking, well, what about if I don't win? Or what about if I don't make it? If I wouldn't have embraced self-compassion and give myself some grace and stepping out of my comfort zone, none of that would have build up to the growth mindset, which leads to confidence in an individual. So, in a nutshell, that's how I was able to go from somebody that really just wanted to just stick their head in the sand and not be seen by anyone to someone um, that has some confidence and that is able to achieve things for themselves as well as for the team that they're part of. And that, listeners, is how I got some sort of confidence in my life and how I was able to achieve some of the things that I've done. Because a lot of what I had to do, I had to step out of my comfort zone. And that took confidence. It's a cycle. You see, it's a cycle. But I hope that you have once again learned something from this. It was a little uncomfortable because it's hard, right? It's hard to admit and to go back in time and to remember that I was that person that really didn't believe in myself, and that if I wouldn't have made certain decisions in my life, I would have stayed in that environment and just maintained the status quo that I had. And I wouldn't be having the life that I have now, which it can be sad if I choose to delve in that. But we're just doing this for the time that we're here talking to one another, so that way you can learn from it. Once I'm done with this recording, that's it. You should replay this if you need to hear anything else. I don't want to go back in time. But yeah, so hopefully you got something from this. And if you did, I love it. If not, go ahead and replay it. Let me know what you think. You can hit me up at joa@haveacupofjohnny.com. I will see you next Wednesday. Bye.
Oh, we could fly. Thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to follow and subscribe to the show. See you on the next episode. Bye. Oh, we could fly.